Hey guys, ASAD World here. This is basically my first real introductory video on a topic that I've been researching on the internet. There's a lot of videos out there on these people, and it's an alarmingly large amount of people that believe that the Earth is a flat stationary plane. We live under a dome they call the firmament. And they believe that it was created. It's a pressurized system. The sun, the moon rotate around underneath the firmament, and I think, don't quote me, but I've heard that the moon is 50 miles wide, and as well as the sun, and it's all a bunch of BS. A little bit about myself. I basically have always liked astronomy. Science was my number one subject, my favorite subject in school. And let's just start off by saying the Earth is round. Actually, I'm sorry, the Earth is not round. The Earth is what we call a spheroid. It is a ball, in a sense. So I've seen all these videos saying that the Earth is flat, and I've seen all these pseudoscience experiments done by these flat earthers. And my channel is basically about helping to fight for science's sake, basically to debunk all these flat earthers. And I've also wanted to give a special thanks to a few YouTubers that are vastly larger and have a lot more subscribers than I do, or probably will have. First one I'd like to thank for my number one inspiration is Simon Dan. Simon Dan, kudos to you. He's over in the UK, and he has such a vast understanding of physics, astronomy, and I love his videos. And he does videos every Friday, I believe. He calls them Flat Earth Fridays, and as well as Tinfoil Tuesdays, where he debunks other ridiculous conspiracy claims. So check out his channel, please. Subscribe to his channel. It's Simandan, SCIMANDAN. Also, another one is Conspiracy Cats. I've watched a number of his videos, and Professor Stick. Those three are my top favorites. And check out all of their channels. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for them. They have awesome insight into all things science, debunking flat Earth, all of that kind of stuff. So I just want to say thank you for that. My general beliefs are that, well, they're my beliefs, but they're also scientific fact. The Earth is a spheroid revolving around the sun. The sun, which is in a solar system that is traveling through space, which is our solar system is on one of the arms of the Milky Way galaxy, which also revolves and travels through space. I'm not going to get into scientific methods, theories, equations, or anything like that on this video. I'm basically just trying to reach out to some of these flat earthers and explain why that they are flawed in things that they do. So there are a few flat earthers that I've watched many of their videos on, and two of the founders or the big shots in flat earth theory are Eric Dubay, which is, from what I've understood, a yoga instructor, has no scientific or physics background whatsoever, and Mark Sargent. And I don't know if Mark Sargent's dumb or if he's a really intelligent man, because he is cashing in on this flat earth movement. But the thing is, when you get people like those two gentlemen that I just spoke of, that have a great influence on a large mass of people, and they're teaching us that the Earth is flat and we live on a motionless plane underneath a dome, that's dangerous because they're spreading false science, pseudoscience. I can't even say the term science and flat Earth in the same context. It's just ridiculous. Now, there's also, and I'm just going to call you guys morons right off the bat, M-Benz and D-Marble. D-Marble especially. You know, D-Marble is... I couldn't believe that there is a person out there who is so blissfully ignorant about this topic that he actually thinks that he's right. If you watch D-Marble's videos, you see these smug little smiles and half-truths and things that he thinks he's so right on that he has to have this little smug smile. And they always say ignorance is bliss. Okay, so I'm going to get into a little bit about D-Marble in this video. He said, and I watched a few of his videos, I'm not sure the exact videos that I was watching, the names of them per se, but he believes that if the Earth is round, then how come people don't walk upside down in the southern hemisphere and vice versa and stuff like that. And another big thing that I've seen, not just on D-Marble's videos, but many other flat Earth videos, they believe they do the tennis ball experiment where they soak a tennis ball and they spin it real fast and the water flies off the edge, and they say, well, if the water's flying off the tennis ball, then how come our oceans and stuff don't fly off if the Earth is spinning? Well, the problem with their experiment is the fact that they're doing their experiment on the surface of the Earth. A planetary object that has gravity, that all things with mass have gravity. The tennis ball's gravity is so negligible, it has no comparison to the gravitational force of the Earth. So, when you do that, and you spin that ball, that water flies out, and where does it go? It goes down to the ground, proving gravity, because everything is pulled down towards the surface of the Earth. Another thing that I saw D-Marble talk about was the fact that how come the clouds float? If there's gravity, shouldn't they fall to the Earth? Well, in short, they do. The thing is, a cloud is made up of microscopic to very, very, very tiny water droplets. And when they're in the sky, gravity will pull everything down unless acted on by another greater force. Well, we have an atmosphere on Earth. The atmosphere has air. And I say air because they always say oxygen. Just a heads up, guys, oxygen is only one of the elements that are in the air we breathe. So that being said, we'll just go with air. So when the clouds are in the sky and they're floating about, they are actually being kept up because they're so small that their gravitational pull is negligible to the Earth's. Now, once the water droplets collect and they get heavy enough, what happens? You get rain. And where does rain go? It falls to the Earth. Because everything that has mass that's on this Earth is pulled towards the center of the Earth, the core of the Earth. So that's why, we have clouds in the sky. Like I said, once the water droplets get heavy enough, they fall as rain. And that's basic elementary school science. It's widely known. You can look it up in textbooks, videos, National Geographic, everything. It's all explained there in layman's terms too. Another thing is, excuse me, why does the sun move and the earth doesn't? That's another ridiculous belief that the flat earthers have. The sun doesn't move around the earth. The earth is on a tilt, on an axis. I believe 23, 24 degrees, don't quote me on that. Like I said, I didn't do the exact math on this right now, but scientific fact shows that the earth is on a tilt. So when the earth rotates around, you see the sun rise in the east and set in the west. It moves across the sky, but it's really the earth that's moving, and as the earth moves, if I'm right here on an earth, if my hand is on the surface of the earth, and this is the sun, and the earth is spinning, while we're on earth, it's appearing that the sun is moving, but in actuality, that's the earth rotating, proving that there's a globe. Also, they say, D. Marble said, why doesn't the moon revolve around the sun? Well, it does. It orbits the earth that rotates around the sun. And I don't even know where he gets that idea from. It's just ridiculous. There's another experiment that a 6-year-old could do, basically. I mean, it's so simple to prove that the earth is round. You take two people, two sticks, same length, right? Follow me? Okay. Each person has a cell phone. They drive 50 miles that way, and the other person drives 50 miles that way. You put the sticks in the ground at the same length, and you measure the sticks, make sure they're the same height. Then you guys get on the cell phones, you say, okay, measure your shadows. You measure the shadow that the stick has on the ground from the sun. And in each two spots, the shadow will be smaller or different in size than the other. That can only be explained by a curved earth. Also, they say, there's evidence in the North Pole of a 24-hour sun, but not in the South, which is a complete load of crap. You can Google, you can YouTube 24-hour Antarctic sun, and it shows that, and that's due to the not the curvature of the Earth. That is due to the Earth being on an axis. If this is the Earth on its axis, and you have the sun's rays coming in, and you spin it, you have an Antarctic sun of 24 hours because the sun is always in the view of the South Pole. This has been recorded hundreds of times all over the place. You can find it again, YouTube, Google, any kind of scientific website, and that's completely debunked. So you can also determine, you can go up to the North Pole or close to it in the northern hemisphere, and you can do a time lapse. You can set up a camera and you can time lapse the stars as they move around the sky, and it moves in a circular motion with a center point being Polaris, the North Star. You go down to the southern hemisphere and you do the same thing, and it creates a circular pattern, a time-lapse star pattern. And at the bottom of that, you can see where we don't have a South Pole star, but you can see that there's a circle, there's a pole. So that completely debunks that theory. I just wanted to take this time to show that every last experiment that a flat earther does, they don't seem to realize that every experiment that they do is contaminated. And when I say that, I mean that it's contaminated because you're performing those very experiments to debunk gravity and stuff on a planetary body that has its own gravity. So you cannot expect to get a logical result like the tennis ball spinning and the water shooting off of it, because you're on Earth, which has a lot more gravity than the mass of a little tennis ball. Okay guys, so that was just a little brief introduction on some of the things that I can debunk, I can talk about. And my channel, I'm going to try to not use very large words, all these scientific terms and everything. I'm going to try to dumb it down, because these flat earthers are, let's just face facts, they suffer from what's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. I'm not going to get into that. If you'd like to know what that is, Google Dunning-Kruger effect, and then you'll see my point. But I'd like to do more videos like this, and I'd like to get more information. So please leave any and all comments, whether they're negative, positive, informative. I welcome all ideas on how to make my channel grow, how to make it better. I thank every one of you who have watched my videos. If you could, I'd love it to have you subscribe, like my video, and if it moves you, hit that notification bell. That way you can get more videos to come, which there will be many more videos to come. Once again, I'd like to thank every one of you for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. And this is A Sad World signing off, and have a great day.